Hey guys, welcome back for the second time tonight. I figured since I was a little behind on my weekly 70s series, I would go ahead and do two in one night, kind of catch up. Already had this one ready to go. But this one is one I'm sure most, if not all, you guys have heard of and probably have in your collection. And if you don't have the comics, I'm sure you've heard of the movie or the book that it was based on, and most certainly you have heard the theme music. And the series I'm talking about, based on the Stanley Kubrick production of 2001, Space Odyssey. Now, I saw 2010 before I ever saw 2001, when I was a kid. And I really enjoyed that one, and the first time I tried to sit through 2001, I couldn't do it. I was just like, wow, God, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, it was almost as bad as Star Trek 1, where it was like, an hour and 15 minutes just showing the ship. But when I got a little bit older and I got it on video, I really sat down and watched it, and I really enjoyed it the second and third time I watched it a lot more. I kind of seen what they were trying to do. But anyway, I really, movies are classic music as far as in the annals of sci-fi. And, after a while I learned to appreciate it. Of course, everybody's heard the 2001, theme music. It was in every show that Elvis ever did in the 70s. But you enjoy that movie. Enjoy 2010 probably a little bit more. I can probably appreciate the first one a little bit more. But anyway, Marvel got the rights, and they pegged Jack Kirby to do the comic book adaptation. This came out in June of '76. Treasury size, pure Kirby goodness. I mean, it's just, the book is just pure eye candy. I really like the way Kirby handled it. I'll just give you a quick look at a couple of pages. I'm sure most of you guys have this. If not, it's not that hard to find. A lot of great double-page spreads. And let me find. I'm sure there's some photo collage that Kirby was known for using. And I don't know. Let's see. Here's a really good double spread. But for fans of the book and or the movie, this is a must-have, especially if you're a comic collector. I think as far as the cover art, I think it was Kirby and probably Frank Giacoia and Dan Adkins on the cover art. I've got a couple copies of this. This is probably my best copy. It's got a couple little dings in it, but it's like the any kind of square-bound book. It's hard to find it in really good shape, but the corners are pretty sharp. Nice looking copy. So after this, they went ahead and started publishing a regular series. It lasted 10 issues. I think that came out in June of '76. I think the regular size comic started in December of '76 and ran through September '77. I've got duplicates of these, like a lot of these little short runs, and but these are my really nice copies. I think probably 10 or 12 years ago, ordered probably 6 or 7 of these through Mile High, and I don't really shop Mile High anymore, but back then they used to have some specials where you could get dollar books and whatever, and these, they had graded them at near mint to mint. I'm not sure exactly which ones they are, but all these are really high grade, and probably some of the nicest Bronze Age books I have. But Kirby wrote and drew the whole thing. As far as on the covers, it's Kirby pencils on the covers, and probably like a rotating 3 guys. I know, I'm not sure if I pronounced the guy's name right, because it's like a mouthful. The guy's, the inker on some of the covers was John Verperten. I think maybe is the way you pronounce his name. He was a Marvel mainstay for a lot of years. And the ones that he didn't ink, it was either Frank Giacoia or Mike Royer, and Mike Royer inked all the interiors on these 10 issues. And Royer, you know, a lot of people will debate who their favorite Kirby inker is. Give me just a second. Get some water. Like I said, a lot of people will debate who the best inker for Kirby was. A lot of Joe Sennett fans. I'm one. Some people like Vince Coletta. Enough said there. Mike Royer, Bruce D. Berry, Frank Giacoia. Probably, but Mike Royer is probably my favorite Kirby inker. I mean, he inked a whole lot of his stuff in the 70s. And I actually got to meet him a couple of years ago at a local convention. Hilarious guy. Hilarious. It was really fun to talk to. I had him sign a bunch of my commandees and other stuff. But, you know, I really like his inking on Kirby stuff. Okay. As far as storyline, you know, it just kind of jumps, you know, from one eye-popping adventure to another. You know, it's just the way Kirby wrote stuff in the 70s, and I love that. A lot of people got their Kirby favorites. You know, they'll say Fantastic Four or Thor or Avengers, or a lot of people will go with New Gods and Mr. Miracle and Demon. You know, and I love all that stuff. But this is probably in my top 3 as far as what Kirby did in the 70s. Loved what he did on Captain America when he came back in the mid-70s. But without further ado, we'll just go through the covers real quick. There's issue 1. Like I say, all these are really, really nice copies. Just if there are any flaws, they are very few. So I'll let you get a good look at those. Number 1. I think I actually found a copy. I think I've got my original. Yeah. This is one of my well-loved copies. I think I've got another one. Probably have another copy looks even better than the one in Mylar on the shelf. But I found this one in a grocery store. Let's see, it's pretty beat up. And this grocery store wasn't even known for carrying comics. I think they might have had like the Archie Digests, but it was like a little local store where my folks lived. And they had like a little spinner rack. It looks like they just like went into somebody's garage and picked out some random books. Some of them didn't have covers, and this was sitting on there, and you know, for a quarter. You know, so I picked it up and loved it. So issue number 1. Here's issue number 2. Vera the She-Demon. Like I say, another really, really nice copy. Great colors on that one. And number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Yeah, most of these are there might be maybe one little ding per book, if you can find one. But as I said, these are graded by Mile High as near mint to mint. Not sure 6 or 7 of them were anyway. But really nice copies. Number 6. Okay, and 7 through 10, these last 4 actually had 35-cent cover price variants. And if you can find those, you know, those are actually, as far as value-wise, quite a bit more. I've tried to track them down, and when I have, the prices have been outrageous. Because I think Marvel had a few books where, excuse me, there were price variant covers. But the last 10 all had 35-cent price variant covers on them. Number 7. Really like the cover on this one. Another nice high grade blazer, as my buddy John would say. Here's number 8, and this actually is a key issue without the variant. The first appearance of Mr. Machine X51, later be known as Machine Man. I always loved the character. Seemed like any of the android or robot characters I was always fond of. Machine Man, Vision, Red Tornado, Metal Man, Jocasta. But as far as the as value-wise, this one, and especially with the price variant cover, I think in the Overstreet Guide, the price variant goes for like $3.50 in near mint. So there's number 9. More of Mr. Machine, aka Machine Man. And last issue, number 10. More Mr. Machine. Okay, last issue, this one, and this one leads directly into Machine Man number 1, which I think the first 10 or 11 issues were done by Kirby. Another favorite title. I'll probably be discussing that one before too long, or as the year goes along. But just a great little series, a lot of fun to read. If you love science fiction, you love Kirby, this is the book. So, there we go. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Alright guys, thanks for sticking around. Probably have another video up in a couple, 3 days, hopefully. Just trying to switch back up between Marvel and DC and maybe get into some Charlton series before too long. But glad you're along with me on this ride. Hope you're having a great weekend. And as always, onward and upward.